So Andy, a good time I think to just sit down with the pre-season fixture schedule just around the corner, a week away from Fulham at home, which is very exciting. Just looking back at some of the departures that we've had, and perhaps starting with those that were confirmed as players moving on at the end of the season: Cameron Green, Tunji Abembe, Finley Lover and Charlie Nicholas.
Yeah, I mean, those boys all featured at some point, but probably not as much as they wanted to. They're all very talented footballers, and I felt that it was probably better for them to get some games and start playing some football, because they've been around the squad but probably haven't been as used as much as they would like to have been used, and to progress their careers. We wish them all the best. You know, they were great lads, great professionals, very professional footballers, and give it their all to try and break through into the team. But sadly, you know, you sort of realise that at some point you've got to let these boys go to forge out a career and play football somewhere else. And I'd certainly like to go on record of wishing them all the best. They're all great guys, great footballers, and I'm sure that, you know, they'll get clubs, and hopefully we'll see them playing in another colour shirt at some point and keeping their career going.
And of course, moving on from that, there were players that were offered contracts in the form of Omar Shomi, Reece Charles Cook and Harry Forster, and obviously the three of them have moved on. So how did that process happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to sort of let people know that we wanted to keep all three of them, and certainly I wanted to, but we have a budget, you know, and the budget is the same as last year, the same as the season before, and that's no criticism of anybody. That's how we operate at this club. And they felt that what we'd offered them, which was more, you know, a lot more than what they were on, they felt that was a sufficient offer. I had to remind them that we never won nothing last year. You know, we had a good little finish to the season. We got the record points of the club, but we are still in this league. So we made them the best financial offers we could make them within the realms of our budget, and it wasn't good enough for them, and that's their prerogative. You know, I've got no problem with that. And they've well, I know Omar's moved on to Sutton, which is a great move into the league for him, and I'd imagine financially he's better off, which that's fine. You know, and I'd like to thank Omar. I think we all loved Omar because he kind of wore his heart on his shirt, on his sleeve, sorry, and he gave everything every game. And I think we must remind ourselves, when Omar come here to how Omar left, it was a completely different player. And that's testament to myself and the coaching team of the work we put in, and equally Omar, the work he put in. So he got his reward, you could ask, for grafting, working hard, improving, and then moving up the Football League tier. So best wishes to Omar, and I really believe Omar will go on. I think Omar will go on, and I would be surprised if he ends up being a championship player at some point. Now, people might think I'm crackers when I say that, but I really think he's got the attributes. And then young Harry Forster, who is a real crowd favourite here, a real lovely character and a great human being. He was going to Scotland at one point, across border. Then last minute he went to Crawley. You know, he looked at the marketplace, went to clubs, and tried to get himself another club. I give him an offer, had to wait all summer, and then I have to make a decision at some point of, like, you know, look, we've got to build a team. We can't keep waiting for all these players to come back to us, and we must remind ourselves of how well the medical team done with Harry. You know, he was, you know, riddled with hamstring problems when he came here. I think, you know, he had a bad injury with his hamstring, and then we rehabilitated him, and then he went again, and we got him to a position where he was fit and ready to play. So credit to the medical team, but Harry felt his career was somewhere else, and then he's gone to Crawley, and we wish him all the best. And then we got Reece Charles Cook. I mean, he's a real favourite of ours, Reece, isn't he? For a lot of reasons, and he's a real mystery sometimes. So we offered Reece a contract, we offered him another contract, we offered him another contract, we offered him another contract. Reece seems to be going everywhere, but I haven't seen where he's gone. We went down this road once before with Reece, I'm just being honest, where we kept trying to do our best for Reece, And it comes to a point where obviously I'm banging my head against a brick wall, and I feel that I need to protect the football club, because other goalies we're going to miss out on if we keep waiting for Reece. Right up until the last minute I tried to get Reece to stay, and he was made a really good offer. I won't make no bones about this, because I think it's easy to blame the budget, and it's easy to blame the club don't put their hand in their pocket to keep these players. We really pushed the boat out to keep these players as much as we physically could, and fair play to the chairman, he wanted to keep these players, but we have to draw a line in the sand, and we have to say, right, that's where we're at, and we have to now protect the football club and protect the players already at the football club who've committed to stay here, who want to stay here. So I don't know where Reece is at. I don't know where he's going to show up. I haven't heard anything. There was a couple of offers he had, and then they've signed goalkeepers. I don't know. I wish Reece all the best. I love Reece as a lad. He's a top lad, and I just wish we could have had him for another season playing. That said, I think we've got exciting times coming ahead.
You chose to take up the options on Callum Reynolds and Louis Dennis's contracts. What were your thoughts on their performances last season?
Well, Louis Dennis, I keep hearing about how great Louis Dennis is. He's great. Louis Dennis is brilliant. It's taken me a bit of time to work Louis out. We've got a brilliant relationship. I think we've had to get a bit of trust in each other. And that goes both ways. Louis didn't know me, and I didn't know Louis when he first came to the club, and he had a few doubts and a few injuries, and he couldn't get going. So as a manager, you lose a little bit of trust, but there's no trust issues with Louis. He's a fantastic player, and what he does on the pitch. And I think we've changed Louis' game a little bit, for the better, in my opinion. I got told all these things Louis can't do, and that might have been the case, but trust me, Louis can do all these things you want him to do now. He runs back, he tackles, he puts himself on the line, he scores goals the other end, he creates, and he looks like, most importantly for me, Louis Dennis says he enjoys playing football here. So I was delighted to get Louis where we got him last season. It was a real shame he got his hamstring injury, just before that big game at Chesterfield. But that was no surprise, because they pushed themselves so hard, those lads, with those games. But Louis is in a good place, and I'm really excited for the future for Louis. And more importantly, I love having a smiling Louis Dennis around the place, which is a real importance to me. Callum Reynolds is, he was excellent. He went into the middle of the three, a position that he likes, and he feels it's his best position. And I don't think you could argue against that. He done fantastic, didn't he? I mean, he really done well in the middle three, read the game well. So we're delighted to have Callum, here for another season. He's a good professional, and those two boys I've spoken about, I have to tell you, have been the fittest boys pre-season by none. There's a couple of others, but they really have looked in really good shape, and that's testament to Tom, who given them their off-season programme to keep them fit through the off-season.
Talking about players coming in from the outside, you signed Sam Woods, Cole Pikawa, Grant Smith and Josh Passley, all very exciting signings, and fair to say they've gone down well with the fan base too. Yeah,
I know Sam from Palace days, so I knew Sam, I know what he can do, I know the couple of positions he can play. We've got to be a little bit patient with Sam. He had a little ankle operation, nothing to worry about, but he has to go through the process now of getting fit, getting up to speed, and getting as fit as the rest of the group. So we must be patient with Sam, but he's a very good player. He can run with the ball in the middle of the park. He can play a holding midfielder role if we want in front of the back 3 or 4, which he's done it excellently against us at Barnet. I mean, we couldn't get a ball into Cheeky, and he can also play in the back 3 or 4. So Sam will find his feet, and we'll get him up to speed at some point. So I'm delighted to have Sam there, good character and good player. Cole's one we looked at last year. He's gone from playing or training, and I mean this with the utmost respect, 2 nights a week at Maidenhead, and doing very well in a Maidenhead team, to now coming into a team that, in my opinion, is probably the fittest team in the league. So he's had a little bit of a shock, but he'll be fine. We've got to give him time to adapt and get ready, to get used to full-time training every day. But he's very good in both boxes, attacking the ball. He's not bad with the ball at his feet, and we just got to make sure he fits into how we play, and he knows the systems we play. So we're working on him, and he's another one we're going to make sure that that he's fittest come the start of the season. And then who else did we say? Grant, sorry mate. So many names whizzing around me. I didn't want to give a name away if somebody else was coming in. Grant Smith was, you know, I mean, we all know Grant Smith. Everyone in this league knows Grant Smith. He's been around this league. I think he's got 3 promotions from this league and league above. He's a steady goalkeeper, bags of experience, and you know, we lose Reece Charles Cook in one breath. We get a pair of hands of Grant Smith coming in, so it's great for us. I felt that was good business, good for us. And again, I couldn't keep waiting for Reece, so I had to make a decision and Grant come in, and there'll be another one in Monday. I don't know if this is going out before Monday, but there'll be another one in Monday which I think will make people sit up a little bit. So we're excited about that.
And also Josh Passley, a player that you've worked with previously, so you know full well what he's capable of. Yeah,
Josh is a young man that I worked with really young in his career, and he was at a stage of his career where he'd not long been released from Fulham, and it's something I've learned as I've got older really in management. When a player gets released from a professional club, particularly a Premiership club, they struggle. They really do. And I had him as a young age, and you could see he had bags of talent. But he was also hurting, I think, and hurting from I've been released from a Premiership club. And he'd done brilliant for me when I had him before. I've kept an eye on him from afar. I've watched him blossom at clubs. I kept an eye on him last year. I've got people down there that just said, "You've got to take this Josh Passley." So I kept my eye on him, watching him games, looking at videos. And then, yeah, we was delighted to get Josh across the line. I think we've got an exciting player there that does what it says on the tin. It basically is just going to go down the line and put the ball in the box, a cheeky. You'll be surprised his energy, his pace, and his directness. So I'm delighted to have Josh in the building, and I'm excited to have him here, you know, down that right hand side where we've lost a couple of players.
Now you talk about another signing to be announced soon. We're obviously here very fully aware that background work's going on for players after that as well.
Yeah, I must make it clear, you know, to people, because I know that I always speak to my older group, you know, the Ravens chat group, the older gentlemen that come in on a Thursday. They're always panicking. We've got no players. There's a process we have to go through, particularly with loan players. You know, these players are all at their clubs. They're now on pre-season tours with their clubs. Their clubs are not going to release them now. So we have to be patient, and we've got so many plates spinning at the moment. You cannot believe. I mean, you probably know a few of them. So we have to wait, and we're governed by the clubs that have got these players. It's not a process, you know, I must make it clear, it's not a process where Andy Woodman picks up the phone to Millwall or Charlton or Arsenal and says, yes, can we have this player alone? And they say, yep, no problem, you can take him now. Don't worry about our club and our squad, you know, and our pre-season games. So it doesn't work like that. These boys have to play in their own pre-season games. They have to go on their own pre-season tours, and they have aspirations that they might break into that first team, and some of them do. So we have to wait, and we have to be patient. We have to hold our nerve, and that's really important. I'm trying to sort of just give the picture to the fans who get a little bit panicky and a little bit like, we're not signing. It's all under control. I think I sent a tweet to one the other day. What are we going to bring in and relax? It'll be okay. We've been down this road now a few times, so we've got them all lined up. We've just got to make sure the right ones come up at the right time. So that's how that process works, and there's plenty going on. There'll be one in Monday, like I say, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about the one in Monday.
What you're also excited about is the young talent coming through, and you've got some new first-year pros that are coming through. How have they been doing in this pre-season? Amazingly
well. I had it in my head that if there's, and I'm moving Ben Krause aside from that young talent, by the way. I had it in my head, if we've got one player in that group that sort of stands out, then we've done brilliant as a club. We've got 5 or 6 in that group that stand out, and there's one in particular that isn't even in that group, he's in the group below. He's even standing out. So yeah, exciting. It's going to be exciting. I think someone came up to me in the open training day we had there and just said, who's this player here? And I told him it was one of our young players. He went, wow, he's good. Exciting. Yeah, we've got some good ones. We've got to just make sure, like I say again, with young Kellen, We've got to put them in the right time and take them out at the right time, and that's my job to get that right. If I get that right, we've got some real talent coming through. We mustn't rely on that talent. We've got to mix it in with the talent we've already got here. But yeah, the future's looking good, and it's all about which one is next off the production line.
And you mentioned Kellen there, obviously a slightly different departure to the ones that we've spoken about, but I guess a bittersweet moment, but extreme pride at what Kellen's achieved here and what he could go on to achieve now.
100%. I wouldn't say bittersweet for sure, because it's a really sweet moment. I mean, if other than getting promotion out this league and giving the supporters, you know, their great days at Woking, their great days at Wembley, when we nearly, you know, get there. This is as proud as I can be as a football manager and a coach, really. I've been very lucky that I've coached at the highest level with young players and first team players, and to see a player go on, that's my inner sort of pride of really doing the right thing by these young players. And Kellen's no different to any of those young ones I've had before. Delighted for Kellen. He come into the squad, he never shirked a challenge, he never shirked a header, he never shirked responsibility, and he was the youngest boy by a mile, and he was brilliant. And my only worry for him that we was gonna, I couldn't believe it was going to happen, but I just thought if he misses a move this summer, he then might get started looking at an experienced player when he's not. So when he went to Norwich, I got the phone call. I was away, got the phone call from the chairman, and I was made up. I generally hand and heart made up for him. He's a great lad, and this is what we want. We want to be. We're not Norwich yet, are we? Let's be honest. But we want to be looking at our players in a Norwich shirt and realising we've helped them on their journey. And we mustn't lose sight of that. So chuff for Kellen, he'll do really well. Norwich have dealt with it properly, and I must say the agent, Jamie Morley, New Era, Max, Ferdinand, they've been first class how they've dealt with us as a football club and Kellen. So I couldn't speak highly enough of all parties in that, and it's really been seamless for all parties.
So the players have been back for over a week now in the pre-season training, and today, as you mentioned earlier, was the open training session. It's great to see everyone come back, and for some of the fans a glimpse of some of the new players.
Yeah, I mean the open day I think is a great idea. I remember we'd done it at Charlton, we'd done it when I was there, we'd done it at Palace, we'd done it at Newcastle. I mean when we'd done it at Newcastle we had 35,000 fans turn up for a training session. It was insane. And I just feel that it's nice to give the supporters, whether how many turn up, an insight to really what your day's about. And they don't always understand how much you do and how professional you are and how you set up and how the training session goes. So that was really nice, and we had quite a few stay here today, and we've had a nice day downstairs in Broomfield signing all the autographs and that, and the players are staying behind. But it's nice to get that, not only showing the training and how we work and how professional we are as a club, but also to get that connect with the supporters. I really like that, and it's taken a bit of time for me to get that with the supporters. You know, I think it's no secret when I first come I was concentrating on the team, and now the last season and a half, 2 seasons, it's about us all being one, and I want to continue that. You know, the supporters and the team and myself, we're all striving for the same thing. We're going to have good days and bad days, but we must make sure we're all connected. And I think as a club we've done that really well, and today was another bit of proof of that it's working well with what we're doing in the community.
Next week there is a behind closed doors game for the team. There is a game at Dulwich as well, and a week from now we'll be preparing for the visit of Fulham to Hayes Lane. It's a great pre-season schedule, particularly here at Hayes Lane, and one that I imagine you're very much looking forward to.
Yes, very much so. I mean, we've got like you say, we've got a behind closed doors game at Millwall. I don't know if that's if I should mention that or not, because it's behind closed doors, but we are. We do it every year. Millwall were a little bit ahead of us at their training at this stage of pre-season, so they normally give us a real tough day, but I think that's good for us. It exposes all our frailties early on behind closed doors, so that's quite nice. I like that, and it's the first game. Everyone will be moaning at each other, every pass will be slightly wrong, every touch will be off. It's exactly what you need, in my opinion, to get exposed to all your frailties early on behind closed doors. No one sees it. And then we've got a team going to Dulwich, so that'll be another group of players that I'll be taking to Dulwich as well. So I'll be in the Millwall and the Dulwich, which will be good. Hackham will have a team set up, and we know what Hackham's teams are like. They're going to be powerful, strong, and at it, so that'll be a good test. and then we really sort of get down to business on Saturday at Fulham, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think you can have so much of this pre-season. I mean, you do all the running, and you know, it gets a bit tedious for everyone. And I'm at the stage now where, look, let's play football and let's start seeing where we're at, and we start shaping the squad as we go along. You know, the core of the squad's good. We need now to start getting those little bits to add on to it, ready for the 5th of August. And I must remind everyone, that's what it's about. It's not about peaking at Fulham. It's not about peaking at Millwall or any other of these places. It's about peaking on August the 5th. And that's what I will remind everybody, you know, everything we try pre-season, as long as we get to August the 5th and we're at our peak, then we'll be in a good place.
And just finally touching on that, the fixtures are out and the excitement is really building amongst the fan base. I'm sure you saw it earlier today too.
Yeah, delighted with the fixtures. I actually spoke to the chairman and he asked me who I wanted first, and ironically I said Halifax away. People couldn't get their head round why would I want that, because I don't want to go there in October, November, get there, get called off at 2 o'clock, come back, go out there again. Let's get those games, you know, played on a nice service with nice weather. I think the fixtures have been really good. You know, I'm not saying the results are going to be easy for any stretch, but we'd sooner go to these places when it's a little bit nicer and the game's going to be on. So yeah, I'm happy with the fixtures. I haven't looked beyond the first month really too much. I know we've got Christmas Epstein home and away, but we'll do what we do always. You know, we won't look too far ahead. We'll just look at the initial block of games like we do as a club, and plough through, and let's get ready for some good days and some bad days like we have every year, and hopefully we can put a team out there to make the Bromley fans and the community very proud of them, and then hopefully we can get a little bit closer than we did last year.
Andy, it's always great to catch up. Thanks for your time and looking forward to the season.
Thank you.